Hey guys, this is Camfrey15, and I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And this is another Stargirl episode review for you guys. And this is Stargirl episode 8, part 2 of Sheev. But yes, what can I say? What can I say? This episode was pretty. This episode was, honestly, if you ask me, I guarantee I'll watch other people reviews saying this episode was good. And this episode was decent. It was decent. I honestly thought part one of this, I guess, Shiv thing was much better than part two. The only really thing is we kind of just the only thing in this episode is it was kind of a slower pace type of episode. Um, and we just get more revelations here and there more than anything, and what to expect for the future. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Um, but let's get on. Go through the different plot points, talk about them, see if I like them. So, anyways, Icicle and Barbara are eating at this fancy restaurant. Obviously, on their little, I guess you can say, work retreat that they're doing to, I guess, obtain this chemical plant company type of thing. So yeah, um, he Icicle kind of leaves because he has to meet up with a client who we later find out is named Mr. Riley, who he later kills in the episode. Um, so yeah, he goes off and he tells Barbara like, listen, you whatever you want, just put it, you know, keep on eating, it'll just go on the tab and I'll just send it to my room. I was like, Jesus, so you just tell me to order me, and like if that was me, I'd just be ordering probably the entire menu. I'm like, okay, free eats. So, anyways, it cuts to what Pat's doing, and essentially to kind of make it, more of a, I guess, good reason to why um, Courtney's in the hospital. He crashes the car. He gets in a car accident. He ends up calling Barbara about it, and then we see that Courtney's in the hospital, and Pat's actually trying to tell Courtney like, look, I don't know if we can keep this hidden from your mom. We're gonna have to tell your mom now. Courtney's like, come on, we can't tell my mom because then she'll probably make me stop, which I guarantee you she probably would. But at the same time, I feel like the mom's gonna find out because Icicle's gonna be after her soon, especially when they find out the real identities and stuff like that. Yeah. They also did the car. Pat also explains why he did the car accident thing on, like, I think one of his favorite cars too, if not his favorite car. It's the fact so he didn't want people to like start getting asking more questions than already needs to be asked because you just can't say, well, why is this girl in the hospital? She fought a supervillain and stuff like that. No, he said they got in a car accident. Albeit it was kind of weird. You know, I guess you can say like I lost traction on the road and then yada yada yada. But yeah. So yeah. Pat also just says he's gonna try to, I guess, go after Cindy and kind of investigate because he knows that what Cindy did. Um, and stuff like that. So yeah. Now and then it cuts to what Cindy's doing, and Cindy returns and she's talking to her dad, Dragon King, and essentially, Dragon King's kind of upset with her, and he's like, "So what? You beat Stargirl, but where's the body? Did you kill her?" And essentially he goes on to say like, "Listen, I had drones go out for surveillance and the body's gone. So that means guess what? You didn't kill her. So guess what? He goes on to say like because of her actions, you might not get in on the seat. He does mention the fact that the costume she was wearing was a graduation present. So it seems like even though the dad is kind of cold blooded, at least he cares. He's like, well, this would have been your graduation present, you know and stuff like that. He also does go on to the fact he does this little hint saying like, if you ever disobey me again, or if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna remove my hood, which kind of freaking freaked out Cindy a bit. So yeah. Now it cuts then to what Rick, Beth, and Yolanda are doing, and they are all sorts of pissed. Morally, Rick is pissed off that Cindy did what he did to Courtney. Now Beth kind of tries to calm him down, and she does. Even Beth makes a comment saying like, just because you're angry doesn't mean you need to take it out on other people. Like, something. Essentially, she was kind of saying like, you're always angry. You need to like learn to lighten up a bit. and stuff like that. So Bev actually kind of a better idea, like to investigate on Cindy instead of just like stupidly going to go beat her up and stuff like that. So yeah. And they're also gonna go try to find out who Cindy's parents are, is because they have a feeling that her parents could have, something related to the ISA. When it cuts back to Courtney's house, and actually Mike comes in and he apologizes to Courtney for what he said at the game, because we last saw in last week's episode, Mike pretty harshly said like, "Yo, this is my dad. You need to back the f off of him." And he just kind of goes on and says, "I'm like, just the reason is we never really got to do anything together, like father son." And he does mention the fact that it's pretty cool to have Courtney as a sister and stuff like that. And Courtney says it's really cool to have a little bro like you. It's a nice little moment between stepbrother and stepsister. Realizing and getting into adjusted of life that it's not just Mike's dad. It's technically Courtney's dad as well, even though that's her stepdad. But you know what I mean. Now Barbara ends up like she actually does come back. She like even leaves early to come back. Um, and Barbara and Pat, they do eventually have a talk, and essentially Barbara seems kind of upset, and I think it's because she even brings the point like, you were treating Courtney to drive at night. Yeah, that was terrible. I'll say this: that was a terrible lie. That was a terrible lie. And I think Barbara, she's starting to catch on. Like, you gotta be joking. Who in whose right mind would be teaching some kid to drive at night? Like, geez, even I didn't practice at night when I was driving and stuff like that. So it's like, she's starting to get more upset with Pat, and I'm guessing it's probably because, Pat might. She's probably getting the feeling that Pat's hiding something from her, and Pat does want to tell I'm not Courtney, Barbara, what's been going on. Actually, even before that scene even happened, Pat actually talks to the cosmic staff, even though the staff isn't responding to him whatsoever. He kind of just says like, listen, look, please protect Courtney. Don't make her do things that she isn't supposed to be doing. And when it's just she's in danger, make sure you get her out of there. So yeah, because funny thing is that's what later happens in the episode when the staff doesn't want to do anything, but she's like yada yada yada. I do end up I already ended up talking about Icicle, what he does. Essentially, apparently, this Mr. Riley, because he had some reason with his wife's death. That's what he was talking about. So yeah, that's kind of what Icicle did in this episode. And it's funny too because the way Icicle just turned into Icicle, or the way Jordan turned into Icicle, was pretty cool looking. And after he killed him, he just sat back and he's like, I'm like, this dude's just some kind of mobster. I swear, he's one of the best CW DC universe. But what can I say? He's Stargirl's actually moving to CW if you didn't hear, because it's gonna be taking on DC universe. I think like that streaming service is gonna be done or something. But Stargirl season 2 has been confirmed from what I heard, and then it's moving to CW. So yeah, some people are not happy about that, mostly because it's like, oh, why? No. But it's whatever. So I will say this: Icicle is one of the best villains in the CW DC TV show list we've gotten. He's up there with the likes of Reverse Flash. Like, this dude's legit. We focus on Henry for a majority of this episode too, and we see Henry's powers are actually starting to give him headaches. But then, in this moment, like he has like, I guess you can probably say like ibuprofen to cure the headaches or something like that, some kind of medicine in pill form. Um, he sees one of the pills like floating up, and obviously now he's using his like, I guess you can say telekinesis in a way. So yeah. So then it cuts to Pat, Rick, and Yolanda and Beth, and eventually, they're all at Cindy's house. Now, Pat actually runs into them and tries to stop Beth from going to the house, but sadly, Cindy's stepmom gets in the way and invites someone else. Pat tries to leave, but they don't. They end up going to the house and stuff like that. Courtney tries texting Yolanda to see what's going on. But then we later see that Cindy actually comes into the room And man, did I just I swear. Now, this scene wasn't as good as, and if you have seen the MCU Spider-Man Homecoming, this scene was kind of similar to that scene in Spider-Man Homecoming when Peter was in the car with Liz and Michael Keaton, who played the Vulture. You know, he's driving them to the little homecoming dance, and just piece by piece, he's realizing that Peter's Spider-Man. Now, it isn't as good as it here, but it did have the awkwardness type of feel, like the whole, like, crazy tone shift where it's like Courtney's on edge and stuff like that. And it's funny too because the moment Cindy's just acting all normal and stuff like that, and she's like, "Hey, I'm glad that you're okay, and I'm sorry that I was what happened in the game. I know, I was just having a really bad day, stuff like that." And then the moment she leaves, she's like, "Oh yeah, wait, I know you're Stargirl. Don't think that mask will hide you because who could?" I'm like, "Thank you. That's what I'm saying." I'm like, Cindy, at least so it's explained here that Cindy didn't hear Pat call Courtney. Apparently, she easily could tell it was Courtney because of the mask and the fact that her hair too, which is makes sense. Like, who's the only other blonde-haired girl wearing a mask? You could put two and two together. Courtney. Let's be real. Let's be real. And stuff like that. So she kind of said, and when Cindy leaves, when Cindy leaves, she kind of just tells Courtney like, "Listen, I won't kill any of your friends unless you provoke me, essentially. So I won't hurt anybody unless you don't do nothing. You don't provoke me." So she's kind of making a like legit threat. Courtney does end up texting the other Yolanda that she knows her identity. So that's gonna be the one thing going on in this plot, that Courtney has her identity found by Cindy, but who knows what's gonna happen to Cindy by the end of the episode. With what happened at the end of the episode. It actually cuts back to, you know, what's going on in Cindy's house, and apparently the mom is acting like really freaking strange too. Like, she's like, "Eat these cookies, Would you like a glass of water?" Like, and then Beth eventually pulls out the Doctor Midnight goggles, and which obviously, like, the stepmom was getting a little bit suspicious and everything, and it was like, the stepmom was like, "So, what was the glass?" And they kind of just played it off like, "Oh, well, you see, I'm super blind and stuff." And I'm like, you could not be any more damn obvious. Jesus, and stuff like that. You can see now. It. Eventually, Beth is like, "I actually have to go to the water after like a sip of. I have to go to the bathroom after like a sip of freaking water," and which is totally unbelievable. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm like, these people are really bad at freaking trying to act, under freaking, I guess, under surveillance or under, like, not trying to blow their cover. Essentially, I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, if that was me in the mom's shoes, I would be like, okay, what's going on here? I don't care. You cannot tell me. Someone takes a sip and they're like, "Oh, actually, do you have a rest? You have a bathroom I could go see?" Why? Why? Anyways, she goes on, and the Doctor Midnight's goggles are just alerting everything. Like, you see, the cabinets are clearly empty. Things are weird and stuff like that. She comes across the whole, passcode door. Beth breaks through it, and when she gets into the little ISA bunker, the goggles will start fizzing out, and they're losing connection, and stuff like that. So then all of a sudden, she gets back up because Beth hears Solomon Grundy in the background, like, just like, "Ah!" doing something like that, and then she ends up going to Cindy's room, which, again, can I just say this? If I was in the freaking mom's shoes, the stepmom shoe of Cindy's house, or if I was just anybody in general, I'd be like, where is your daughter? That's an awful long restroom break your daughter's taking. That was even more of a clueless thing that would have given away your cover. I'm like, how long does it take to observe something? Like, my God. Because let's believe, I guarantee, I don't care what anybody says. You do not, out of pure respect, unless you're like sleeping over at somebody's house, you should never use number two in somebody's house if you're just visiting their house. I never do that. Like legit, I would only do that if I was desperate. But yeah, the fact that the mom just totally aware of the fact that oh, yada yada yada, crazy things are happening. So at the same time, Cindy's actually coming back from Courtney's house, and you know Yolanda's trying to tell Beth like, yo yo yo, Cindy's here. You need to get the f out. Now when Beth's looking through the room, the Doctor Midnight's glasses sees this picture of a guy named Shiro Ayo. I think that's his name. And it was a picture hanging in Cindy's room. Now they were questioning why would she have a picture like that in her room. But yeah, so eventually Cindy, gets to her room, but luckily thanks to Yolanda putting on her Wildcat costume, she was able to get Beth out of there quickly, and not get spotted and stuff like that. Pat eventually ends up leaving because he was fixing the freaking, I guess, her pipes, and for some strange reason, the girl actually gets up near, like, up into his legs, and I'm like, you might want to get up out of there. And Pat's like, well, it seems I gotta go and stuff like that. And then even the mom's like, wait, but what about your daughter? And he's like, oh, she actually ran out. I'm like, bro, I swear, if that was me in real life, I would have called the cops in the heart and the fastest time. I would have been like, these strange individuals came up in my house, and all I can say is I don't know where they live, but can you find these individuals? Jeez, that's all I can say. Um, Now, all because of this, Courtney, she goes down to the basement area. She takes the staff. Now, the staff at first, listening to Pat with his demands, is not budging. Like, Courtney's trying to move the staff, like, come on, let's go, let's go. But the staff, obviously listening to what Pat said and trying to protect Courtney, doesn't want to. But then Courtney kind of says, like, well, the others are in trouble. They need our help. And then the staff kind of, guess you could say, kind of just goes with it and just joins, even though knowing that Courtney would not say that, but okay. And then again, she goes off on her own, still not learning her freaking lesson from last week and how many other weeks in the past. How many times? If you did not see last week's review, I'm bringing this up. I talk about it for like 5 minutes or so, and I say this. Courtney does just not understand. After weeks and weeks and weeks of her saying, oh, I understand, I should not go on my own. She even says it again in this episode. I promise you, I won't go on my own again, Pat. She does it again. At this point, you cannot give the excuse, oh, she's a teenager. No, it's common sense. If you say you're going to say, I'm not going to do this, and then go behind somebody's back and still go and do your own thing, and even in the next episode preview, she's still hung up on looking ignorant about the fact. That's the only thing about the Courtney character I hate. The fact that she's rushing into too much things. Like, literally, too much. I'm just getting sick and tired of it. She almost got herself killed in this episode again. If it wasn't for Henry. Now, speaking of Henry, Henry goes and he actually finds his dad's suit because he's moving the keys around with his telekinetic powers. And he sees a picture of his mom and a document about Cindy, watching over him, and stuff like that. We also do find out in that most instant because that Shiro Ayo is Cindy's dad, I'm guessing. So yeah, and even Pat brings up the fact that even is like, yeah, Shiro Ayo, I know who he is. And Beth's like, but isn't he supposed to be dead or something like that? But no, apparently he must have transversed time and he's probably faked his death. He probably has some kind of freaking aging thing. What did he use? Did he use the what's the thing in Rach's the Ra's al Ghul's little place? I forgot. I forgot. It's been so long since it's been so long since I watched Arrow. And two, it's been so long since I played Batman Arkham City. Although Batman Arkham City is a really good game. Um, but yeah. So Cindy and Courtney well, Cindy, she eventually finds out like somebody's been in my room. My room looks different, and then all of a sudden, Courtney just breaks through her freaking house, and they have a nice little fight. Um, it comes to the point where they get pushed out to this house. Henry actually was, I guess, driving to Cindy's house, and Henry sees all of what's going on. And the next thing you know, we come to a point where Cindy actually has a chance. Is like literally like I could say inches away from probably stabbing Courtney in the freaking face, which again, Courtney almost died. Now keep running out on your own, kiddo. You're almost dying again. Um, he's just hearing the he's using his brainwave powers to hear what they're saying. It's like all these things. This mumble jump I cannot describe. He eventually blows them back by just screaming and stuff like that. Now Cindy, she tries to get up and tries to go for Courtney again, but then the Dragon King's little minions come in and take her down into the sewers or whatever, probably to her Dragon King's little base area and stuff like that, probably to punish her. So we don't know what's gonna happen to Cindy. So yeah, now Courtney and Henry, they kind of like a telepathetic or telekinetic talking thing. Like he can hear Courtney's thoughts, and he's like, "Oh my!" And Courtney's like, "Really?" Like, "Oh my goodness, she can hear my thoughts." And then eventually Henry finds out, "Wait, Courtney?" And I'm like, "Oh brother, now this guy knows too." So yeah. And then the last scene in the episode is on the monitor. Dragon King sees that Henry has powers. So I guarantee you, Dragon King is going to be going after and telling the other ISA members, get Henry King Jr. His powers has activated. He's definitely going to tell that to Icicle too. He's definitely going to tell that. So next week, Courtney is going to try to recruit Henry to the JSA, which I don't know what this is going on. But it seems like Henry is not digging it, and hopefully Henry does not turn into a bad guy. But I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't. So, yeah, that was the episode this week. Episode was decent, not as good as last week, but it was still decent. Like I said, it was more just, I guess you can say, revelations at hands and stuff like that. But other than that, like I said, it was a decent episode. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. So if you like this video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this episode. And hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Stargirl content. So till then, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'll catch you guys on the next video. So whenever you're checking, hopefully you guys are having a safe day or night or whenever you're checking this video. Till then, guys, peace.